So then Kate, if that's what the trustees would like to do, if we go that direction, then Katie will look at the average of what that dollar amount would be per hour. And then we don't have to worry about if it's paid up front or not. It's integrated within the dollar amount.
Dr. Vernia? This position is not being added. We're taking an existing position and promoting that person. So with that being said, that we are losing one custodian position, okay, more or less, and creating it, moving it up. And so that, we have to try to fill that void by purchasing equipment that'll help assist the custodians to get the job done quicker, since we're losing them. So we're looking at that. So we'll pay a one-time cost for a piece of equipment that will do the work of 3 people. So that was another issue too.
There's no question that, so we know the true financial impact to the district. I guess we sort of need to know what that equipment is going to cost to make all that work, right? Because if it's a $2 million piece of equipment, then we say, no, we're not doing this. But if it's a $10,000 piece of equipment, okay.
And if I could say that about specific equipment, I mean, that's something that we're looking at anyway. I mean, we're constantly having to look at the machines that we had at each campus, because right now, what we learned this summer, and just having Mr. Palomo on board, we might have had 2 machines for 4 campuses. And what that does, it slows down people, because they can all be, let's say, and I might stretch it here, waxing the floors at the same time. So I only have 2 campuses that are waxing floors, and the other 2 having to do something else. So that in itself is something we have to continually upgrade our equipment to begin with, because we are very short. There were some machines where we were down to 1 machine that we can only pump the floors with. And some of them are so old, they needed to be updated. So I think in Mr. Palomo's comment on that, that's just going to be ongoing anyway. It's just updating whatever equipment we have to become a lot more efficient.
Okay, I may have misunderstood. I thought the statement was, if we promote the custodian again, he or she won't be able to do that job. We have to get new equipment, not updated or replaced with new equipment to take care of that person who we're losing, so that work can be accomplished. So if that's the case, then we're adding to our equipment base. It's more money. It's not just modifying or replacing current existing equipment. It's new. It's not budgeted, not
Like it's just a wording issue.
oh.
Dr. Moran, point. This summer, we went through all the equipment. We maybe had 4 pieces of usable equipment that we had. We had to purchase more equipment. With that, it helped the custodians to get the job done, but there again, we still fell behind because of the older equipment. This new equipment takes the place of the 1 custodian or 2 custodians that are there, whereas I don't have to pull them away from their duty to get the job done. Like with the floors, these are floor machines. I mean, there's a lot of square footage in this district that needs to get taken care of. Doing it by hand takes longer, so let me get the machine that'll do it in half the time or less. That's what I'm looking at. And these pieces of equipment, I just got a quote today, actually, $2,500 for a piece of equipment.
That was my question.
Yeah. So,
But you budgeted towards that, right?
yes.
And I may be jumping ahead here, so forgive me or something, but we need to be looking at when we start looking at a building process or materials, something that will be more efficient for the custodians to maintain as well. Good call.
Yes.
to integrate the $4,000 into a salary for a supervisor.
So moved.
I have a motion made by Mr. Vernia, second by Ms. Kravitz, to integrate the $4,000 for a custodial supervisor pay. Any further discussion? All those in favor? Motion carries 6-0. Next, discuss and consider architect interviews and selection process. Dr. Vernia.
Trustees, I wanted to bring this particular agenda item to you just to really start looking at it and catch up to speed a little bit. Last week, we received our final updated demographic study numbers, and we did see quite a bit of a difference in including those extra 2 neighborhoods that were not part of the original plan. So with that said, our next step is to now start looking at our current infrastructure, looking at our facilities as what we have in place now, looking at the programs that we have today. And when I talk about referring to academic programs, and really start planning for the future. Let's look at 5 years from now. Let's look at 10 years from now. Where are we going as Vernia ISD? So with that natural progression, it's about hiring an architect to help us out with that process. Again, and I'd like to look at 3 different things. Is number 1, the facilities planning or facility study. Number 2 is the program planning and study, as far as do our buildings have the capacity to continue to support future programs that we bring into our schools. For example, let's say if we wanted to look at more CAPE programs, do the facilities right now have enough for the CAPE programs that we want? Let's say if we wanted to have more welding as an opportunity, do we have the right shops or equipment to do that? Let's say if we wanted to do auto mechanics, do we have that within our infrastructure? So those are part of the pieces that we look at, is creating almost like a wish list. Where do we see ourselves 5, 10 years from now? And making sure that's part of the study. So that's what I refer to as the program analysis. And then in future thoughts, as far as where do we go, and looking at, do we need another school? Do we need more buildings even from the infrastructures that we have now? The architects will help us out through that whole process. So what I bring forward to you tonight is all of you have this brown packet here. And these are some names of some different architects and schedules that we have set up. Because on Wednesday, I'd like for us to continue interviewing these architects to see who's got the qualifications to offer us what we need for a next step in the planning for Vernia ISD.
Can I ask about scoring or something? Is there a rubric or metrics or something we're going to use?
There are a set of questions that I'm going to share with you in a closed session, and based on the nature of an interview process and keeping the integrity of the questions, I will review those questions with you during the closed session, and we'll finalize some of the questions that we need. There will be a rubric that's based on that to help out to ensure that the process is, number 1, very transparent as far as the architects that we're looking at right now. Number 2 is making sure that the questions that we're asking are equitable from one firm to the next firm. So it'll be consistent questions across the board. So we will have a rubric system that's built within that. But I will take the direction of the board to refine some of the questions that I have that I'm going to suggest.
So we haven't presented that to the candidates yet?
No.
Potential questions?
No. No. To keep the integrity of interview process, no one knows the questions except for me right now.
We're looking at trying to do it kind of how we did in selection of superintendent. Where we ask the same questions
Yeah.
each firm.
And just for transparency purposes, again, each architect will have anywhere from, let's say around 40 minutes roughly, anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes for presentation, and anywhere from 15 to 20 minutes for board questions in interviewing these 6 candidates.
Any other questions, discussion? It is 8:24, we're going to move into closed session under 551.071, Texas Government Code, private consultation with the board's attorney, 551.072, discussing purchase, exchange, lease or real value, or value of real property, Parker 1074, personnel matters.